But I don't know who they are on my phone. Huh. I'm sure it's
Damn.
been.
Oh boy, we're live now, and you look
Hello.
like a
Oh, how we
disembodied
doing?
head. Let me fix that. Guys, welcome to Hot Takes, our second to last episode of our fourth season, episode 20,
seasons.
season
That's
4.
crazy.
Episode
Crazy.
420. Hey.
Oh,
So
no, I
anyways,
didn't even know that.
yeah,
How
Lux had to
funny.
point that out. Episode 420,
Wait, Lux put it out?
the day
Hong Kong.
after 420. Honk honk indeed.
Hong
So
Kong
we
indeed.
got the community voted winner of our public and Discord poll for the past 2 weeks. We polled people. We got a lot of votes. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for voting, and to all the people who almost won, you are loved, and I got you on my list. But there was a clear winner from early on who just widened the gap, and that was our dear friend Solodolo84, who's known by almost everyone. And if you haven't met him, you better soon, because you're missing out. Solo has gone to so many live shows. I swear he's always there. He's always in the crowd. He's always vibing with people. He's got a great energy, and he's a visual artist, and we have taken great pains to make sure that we represent visual artists in the scene. We could do better, but Solo Dolo is very much just the picture of visual excellence. So
I would say also another one of the most fantastic DJs currently in the vaporwave scene too, who really has a tremendous focus on actually playing vaporwave. You know what I mean? Like if you had the pleasure of checking out any of his recent sets, whether it's on the Vapor Loot or the Vapor Rays or the Sanctuary as well, these are some tremendous, straight up classic vaporwave sets. Like the man has a tremendous.
He's very skilled, very cultured. He's part of a collective called Wave Squad. Him,
yes.
Crispy Doodles, who's in the chat right now, along with Carte Blanche and Dub Profit, have a collective called Wave Squad, and it's just kind of an audio-visual collective, and they're everywhere. They're like, there we go. That's the logos on the screens. Anyways, let me stop and we'll finish the introductions later. But welcome to Hot Takes, guys, a vaporwave talk show and podcast heralded by myself, vaporwave DJ, curator, and personality Young Shiro, and my co-host, DJ, musician, founder of Terminally Chill, Skeleton Lipstick.
Hello. Hi.
Our very last episode of season. Just want to remind everybody, we want to thank you guys for being here and welcome you guys, first-time chatters and regulars alike. Thank you to our mods that are here. So ground rules. Anytime you do an emoji, it shows up on the screen. Check it out. That's cool. So blow up those emojis.
So cool.
No punching down. Punching up is okay, and it's actually encouraged, but no punching down. Please don't shit talk little vaporwave artists. Thanks for the follow, Pungent Towel. Anyways, so just keep it kind. No racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, or xenophobia is allowed in Hot Takes. You'll get banned, so don't do it. And it's not kind or conducive to the community. Last thing, the commands. Anytime you type in one of these commands with an exclamation point, stuff happens. So check out the commands. You can check out the Hot Takes Volume 1 comp, where we raised almost $10,000 for, almost $1,000, let's be honest, for the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. It's got a lot of tracks that were submitted by previous guests and fans and server members. Check out our specially curated Spotify playlists. Previous guests have curated playlists, and they're all like made by humans. They're not algorithmic. Check them out. We got all kinds of neat stuff. You can still get the BFant design shirts for Vaporade Live, the live stream event that Quiz and Dom did with Skeleton Lipstick and Solo Dolo and me that we all participated in. So check out the shirts; they're terrific.
Yeah, everybody on the episode tonight participated.
Yeah. If you feel led to donate, donations are going towards saving up for the commissioned art for season 5. We're hoping to get a very, very, very well lauded and famous artist who probably is going to charge. So if you feel like donating, it'll be worth it, and we appreciate it. If not, we still love you. And then check out the Discord. Guess what? A lot of magic happens in these communities, guys. If you feel like you're in the outer circle, you don't have to be. You can be part of the inner circle. It doesn't cost any money. You don't have to do anything. Just show up and post some gross pictures of food, or talk with us about fast food, or just share your stuff and be friends. And in the Discord server. And then finally, you can follow us on social media. We're not on Twitter anymore, unfortunately, but we're on Blue Sky. And Skelly and Shiro, you can also use to follow us. I think that's enough of an introduction.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Let's hear what Skeleton Lipstick's recommendations are for us to listen to this week.
No electro swing.
No electro swing is allowed, though.
Hey, you know what's funny is that there, last weekend, one of the most famous electro swing bands actually toured through Philadelphia, Caravan Palace.
And disgusting.
I saw some footage of their concert, and people were having a great time. It looked really fun.
They were not.
I actually
you just
didn't know
think they were having a great time.
I wish I knew they were playing. I didn't see it until after the fact. But I 100%
Oh, really?
And taking footage and just like,
why do you wish that?
If I knew they were playing, I would just like, you would just like your phone would have been spammed with hours of the Caravan Palace concert. But I forgot.
No,
I didn't know
no.
Sorry, you got lucky this time. Isaac. I didn't go, but anyway,
that's why you're my best friend.
Because I've got some non-electro swing recommendations. How about that?
Yes.
Okay, so anyhow, the last week I did Terminally Chill last week with Quiz and Bell Stardust. Big success, a lot of fun, but it did remind me to go back into my old crates and prepare for that classic vaporwave dance party again. And going through that, I was reminded of some of my favorite albums that I like to, or songs from my favorite albums that I like to play at Terminally Chill. And I'm going to start off with one which is a classic that if you don't have it and you haven't listened to it, go listen to it right now. It's Childhood, the self-titled album off Business Casual. Childhood just starts off that really funky sledgehammer flip, Call My Name, and just moves from there to every direction you want for a funky vaporwave album that reimagines old classics in ways that are interesting, contemporary, esoteric, and fun in a way that's so strange and weird, and just a tremendous amount of creativity. So that's like your classic album. If you want to play some dance music that you would not call future funk, but you would call vaporwave, but you wouldn't call like a classic vaporwave. You want it's your favorite thing, Isaac. It's the sort of the vapor funk
stuff.
That's
a terrific recommendation.
I mean, it's just like, this is the benchmark album, right? This is the one. It's a classic album. It's a fantastic album that sits pleasantly in a space within the scene that is influenced so much after it. And I highly recommend it. Go check that album out. And then if we wanted to move into some more straight up future funk, because obviously I want to play a lot of that at Terminally Chill. One of my favorite albums is a 2018 album by ED called Pool Party. This one is, if you listen to this album, because every song is so fun. Every song is put together so perfectly. Creative, chopped in such a very an infectious way. This is a lot of personality. I think sometimes the biggest problem with artists is not whether or not they can make music that is got a good rhythm to it that you in theory can dance to, but whether there's a personality, whether there's personality in the album. That's kind of what gets people moving on a dance floor, is not just the fact that technically it's dance music and there is the rhythm to dance to, but that there's a personality in the music that when you are moving, you've got someone conducting you. And let me tell you, that album by ED, that is the work of somebody who conducts a dance party. You know what I mean? Who can conduct the audience.
Hell yeah.
You can tell he had a lot of fun making this. I think it's probably one of his first albums. I think actually I have to go back and look at that, or maybe a second early. It's definitely one of his earlier career albums, and like you can tell that it came in with a bang when he made that album. Pool Party is super fun. There's certain songs that I'll never not play at Terminally Chill from this album, like Senorita or Thick, THICC.
Oh, that song. Okay, yeah.
You know the song?
No, I know Senorita.
Oh, see, even you, Isaac, is very particular
nice
about what you're going to play from the future funk. You know this album too. You know songs from it.
I could know it better.
It's great. It's a great album. It's really fun. Not just dancey, but the conduction of the audience with that dance music. It really conducts an audience. I got a lot of only nice things to say about that album.
Very cool.
And then I guess one of the what do I want to recommend? I had a bunch that I was thinking about recommending for the third choice. But I guess we'll just go with Another album I play a lot from at Terminally Chill is, and I think I've recommended this one in the past, at least in a previous episode, maybe a couple of years ago, but I'm gonna go back to it again. Is the album, it's the split album Hopeless Romantic by Lucky Townsman and Mecha Pilot.
Nice.
Just such a fun album. Really, I think really one of the best future funk albums
Hot
made.
Takes Future Funk episode.
Yeah, I mean, Charles would, I guess
just
so.
danceable episode.
Ones were experimental. This one, just because in honor of the party that we just hosted, last week. I'm just kind of using my crates to judge my recommendations this week. But this album, Hopeless Romantic, I think it's a great album. The people who know it's a great album know it's a great album, and I just would like more people to understand how great this album is. The song "Not in the Mood" by Lucky Talisman is maybe one of my just like a top favorite song in general for me.
Wow.
Just my favorite songs ever. Like it always puts me in a great mood. Really, has a sense of I don't know, just you just want to fall in love when you hear that song. So I love that song.
Love that.
I put it on all the time. When I wake up in the morning, if I need to start myself moving, this song immediately puts me into a wonderful headspace. It makes me feel hopeful and happy. It makes me want to dance. And just go listen to the album. And if you don't have time to listen to the full album, go listen to Not in the Mood by Lucky Talisman. That's that song alone.
Lucky Talisman and Mecha Pilot are both terrific.
If I had to pick one, because Isaac tells me pick one song at least to recommend to people, and that's the one song I'm going to recommend to people.
I appreciate that.
One of my favorite songs in general. Okay, I think that's
hell
good.
Yeah. Well, we're about 15 minutes into the episode, so I'm just going to make my take really quick. I feel like it's super petty. I feel like a lot of genres of music are completely, honestly, if you take the drum beat out, they could really be like indiscernible, but it's the drum beat that differentiates the genre. Like you have house music, trap music, drum and bass, and it's like if you didn't have a drum beat, like the instrumental part of it may have like certain like sounds that are kind of like endemic to that genre, but overall I feel like the drum beat identifies genres, at least in electronic music. And I think the objectively most boring beat of all time is boom bap.
Interesting.
All right, everybody, let's see what Solodolo84 has to say about my hot take. So Solodolo84 is, again...
Whoa, we got Solo back on. All right, let's get this
Solo's going to be here any minute now. He's a visual artist. He's a friend of many. He's a DJ. He was voted the top most wanted person for hot takes tonight. So everybody give a warm welcome to our good friend Solo. Go ahead and unmute yourself, bud.
All right, excited to have our friend on today.
Look at this man.
What's good? What's good?
The
people?
Face that everybody has wanted to see.
What's going on, world?
And with the Wave Squad sticker pack in the background. I think I see multiples, actually.
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. So what do you think about my hot take?
Let's get the waves in the fucking chat. Huh?
What do you think about my hot take?
What's that?
Oh.
What was it?
I said I think it's a super petty one. I said I think boom bap is the most objectively boring beat of all time.
Well, I won't necessarily say boring. It's an origin story.
That is true.
I mean, without boom bap, we wouldn't have a lot of shit.
Nice. That is true.
If we gonna keep it a bean.
Okay.
I mean, who knows? It might not just be for you. So
that's true. We did talk a little bit about that last night.
Elegantly said.
You can't downgrade the influence.
I was listening to Boards of Canada's Music Has the Right to Children, and I was noticing that almost all the beats in that album are boom bap beats.
You think those are great though?
They are. That's a flawless album in my opinion.
It's in the simplicity of a beat where you have to create, which requires detail, and the details come into the way. And you know this more than anyone else does. Like you're listening, you pay attention probably more than anyone else does to like the snares and the crispness of a cymbal hit, and the way that after the sound.
Intention.
Yes, the intention and how it almost like rises and decays after a snap is created, right?
True.
Sometimes when things are simpler, it allows more room to appreciate the details of it, right?
Exactly.
It's too chill for me, I guess. But
hey man, that
clearly there are times that I appreciate it.
Well, that I'm the person who's not really terribly into breakcore music.
Yeah.
So I got my own controversial stuff too. But
that's okay.
and I think about so like So I understand. But anyway, do we
But
have
is
more
it
to
an
say about
origin
this, or shall
story?
we?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's amazing. And that's. Do we have more to say about this, or shall we move forward?
You can move.
All right. All right. Well, how you doing today, man?
I'm cooling, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing very good. I'm very good. Well, I have to say, you've got some of the best taste I've seen in the vaporwave scene. You curate some of the coolest fucking DJ sets. You're one of the most supportive people at live events too. Just a
Facts.
tremendously excellent presence at any event that I've ever
Thanks.
been to. You've been as well. And I just want to know, where does this begin at? Like, because you're older too. You're my age. So when do you start? Where is
Yeah.
your journey with me? Because you're my age. So when does your journey with music start? What were you doing? What was the young Solodolo listening to as a kid? What was the first kind of music and artist that you were kind of connecting with, even before like high school? You know what I mean? Even before me, then like what was
Well,
what
oh,
was? I
it's
gotta go
funny.
back,
It
man. I'm
starts
sorry.
even before then. It starts even
Let's
before
go.
then.
Well, let's go.
Well, I was born in '84, so I'm 40
Mhm.
years old.
Hard.
Forgot you.
And when I was a baby, yeah, like when I was a baby, my mom, she's a huge Ozzy Brothers fan. Huge.
Isley
Like
Brothers. All right.
huge. Like very, very huge. Large
Very
even.
dedicated.
Uh she would, rock me to sleep and she would sing Ozzy Brothers songs to me. So that early on, me not even, understanding what music is outside of the mind, basically.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
being I'm being injected this soul, this sound, this
yeah,
particular sound.
yeah.
And as I get a little older, maybe around like 3 or 4, my grandmother, she had a lot of records lying around, and she would listen to them like all the time. She would sit at the table, smoke her cools, drink her blue ribbon, and she'll put on these records. And I couldn't touch the needle. So the only thing I would do is just either sit down and just look at the album cover, or I would sit on the floor with my face to the speaker, or I would sit and listen to her, like listen to her talk and reflect on how this music made her feel when she was younger. And being as though I can't touch the needle,
Yeah.
I have to go off what she's feeling like listening to.
It's a good
So
point.
It was
that's
that's
pretty
amazing.
much that's pretty much my origin story when it comes to music. Like my grandmother, she used to make mixtapes. Like she would record songs off different radio stations. Sit at the table 12, 1 o'clock at night, and me, 4 or 5 years old, like shit. Well, she's not going to sleep. This music isn't cutting off, so it's
Yeah.
not like I can,
So
try to get some sleep or whatever. Music was played in my house 24 hours a day.
what a
We had a
safe.
we had
I
a we
love
had
that.
we had a radio in the bathroom that just never turned off.
Really? Oh wow. So
That's
that's
cool.
that's very interesting that like music was already presented to you in this sacred form. Like you're there and you have someone sort of talking about it, discussing what they feel about it, and you mentioned that, which is a very interesting point. Of like it's like the only reference I have for what's going on is whatever my mind is creating and whatever the people around me are speaking to me. You know what I mean? It's not like I read about music first, and not like I had a moment and it was introduced to me. I was sat in front of it, and it was almost like a worshiping type experience where like here is the music. All I know is I can't touch that needle or it stops. You
Mm.
know what I mean? Like I don't understand the
Exactly.
mechanics of it. You're not even sure what you don't know what the word is for this even is yet. You know what I mean? You just know that it's very important. It inspires feelings, and it's an art form that enters into your mind, and you just feel it without touching it. You know what I mean? And that's really
Right.
like a very interesting and tangible first experience with music. You know what I mean? And also coming from people who are
Yeah.
your caregivers, who are the people you love. And that's like a really
Yeah.
cool way. That's first thing that music is associated with is with these people who you love, and it inspires them. And you're like, wow, this is something really special happening here
Yeah.
right now.
It's the most
That's
basic
beautiful.
form of
Yeah.
experiencing music. Period.
It's so pure.
Yeah, it's
Wow,
moving for sure.
fascinating. I love that you had the radio just constantly play, had music constantly playing in the house. So,
Yeah, man.
wow, that's amazing. So then, as you get older, maybe you start get. I mean, does your family introduce you to other music? Do you start learning about the different designations between it? You know that this is funk music, that this is rock music, that this is when does that?
Yeah.
So when do you start
Yeah.
realizing
Oh
designations?
yeah.
Or
Yeah. Most definitely. Because my mom and my grandmother was playing this different music. I'm getting a bouillon cube of different sounds. Like one day it might be James Brown, the next day it might be the OJs, the next day it might be Leonard Skinner, the next day it might be Steppenwolf, the next day it might be Bob James, the next day it just keeps going and going and yeah.
And
Like
look at the records,
I told you, like,
were you looking at the records?
like yeah,
that's
because like
terrific.
yeah,
the actual LP records, correct? Because like I remember. So you had like the Steppenwolf album with like all the crazy like visuals all over, like all the prog rock visuals over the top of it.
Yeah, all that shit. And like, and just imagine like being a kid and your parents is just like, let's listen to this.
Yeah, I mean that's wonderful. And I think we need to all pause for a moment and reflect on that fantastic metaphor of a bouillon cube.
I love that too. I saw that look on your face.
That's a great metaphor for you. Just drop it in, and then it just like
simmers
and
mixes with other ingredients
and diffuses itself into the entire stew of your young mind. That is
a small amount of a lot of flavor, bro.
Yes. This is a good
Solo
metaphor.
is a chef, so he would know.
Yeah, I was gonna get into that eventually, and now, but I love that. And what a great metaphor. Oh, that's a good one. Hold on. All right. So now you're getting older. You're starting to distinguish all these different types of music. Let's say, what do you remember? Because a lot of this is is music that you've been introduced to by your parents. Do you remember the first time that you heard something that felt like it was the first thing that you discovered, or the first thing that you're like, oh, this is different. This is like I've gotten a lot of influence from my parents and my family. And then there ever something? Do you remember the first thing? And it's a weird question. Do you remember the first thing that you heard that felt like it was yours?
It's not weird at all. Yeah. I remember definitely. I was 3 years old.
3?
I was 3 years old. Yeah,
wow.
I was 3.
Man's got a memory.
Yes, real shit. Hand to the gods, real shit.
Amazing.
I was 3 years old, and one of my uncle's friends was a DJ. So like on the weekends, like they would take me to his sets and watch him put mixes together and stuff. And this one day in particular, I never forget it. It was a Saturday. It was raining outside. He really didn't want to do the mix. Like he just like. I just remember him on the ride to his house. He like, man, I gotta hurry up and do this. Like he's stressing about it, and me, I'm like, he doesn't act like this normally. So obviously, it's a time crunch thing. So I remember sitting on the floor, and I pulled out the Parliament Funkadelic album, the Mothership Connection.
Yeah, great album.
And I remember like when I first opened it. It's all I see is like it looked like comic books. Like the inside of their jackets were hand drawn like comic books.
Oh,
all of their lore,
yeah,
all of their characters, all of their storyline, why they are here, why they're waiting for the mothership, like all that stuff was in the jacket. And he starts mixing the beginning of the Mothership Connection.
Yeah.
He starts playing it, and I'm looking at this jacket. I'm looking up at the poster, the Sir Nose poster, hand drawn by the way, and I'm like, this music is speaking to me because at this point I do know who James Brown is.
Yes,
but this is a different kind of funk. Like this is it's different. It's Motown loud.
Yeah,
and it was one of those moments where it's like I picked up this record. He's playing it. And it was one of the first times where I felt like this is speaking to me. And that young of an age, it just goes to show you how wide my imagination was. Wow. And think about it. I'm in a household where they don't stop playing music.
Yeah.
But I don't hear much Parliament Funkadelic at home. So when I went over his house and he started playing and I picked up the jacket, I was like, this is it. This is the dopium right here.
I mean, that's great, great album and a great band to once you've been inculcated in a lot of fantastic music, but then this is pushing a lot of boundaries. It's pushing boundaries in the way that music is constructed. It's pushing boundaries in the art that's associated with it, and also it's pushing boundaries in the imagination that can be used in the delivery system of music, the way it can, the presentation, you know what I mean? Like this is a very visual
Exactly.
artistic, George Clinton and Funkadelic, very visual artistic group, right? You know, like
Yes.
I've seen them live before, and it's a whole experience, right? So like,
Oh
That's
man,
awesome.
and then
that's
on
so
the big
great.
LP covers with like, now you're moving into this, like, I mean, you obviously already a visual, you're already looking at the album covers, but now you're like, whoa, this is superheroes.
This
You
is
know what I mean?
different.
Like
This is
music can
different.
go
This
this
is different
far.
from a Led
So much
Zeppelin
deep
record.
lore.
It is 100%. Oh yeah, I mean, like this is definitely like, that's that time that you discover that like music is so multimedia. You know what I mean? And that it is a
Yep.
great vector for which to experience your imagination. You know what I mean? Like music is a key, not just in the listening sense, but in expanding every sense, all of your senses. You know what I mean? They're like, Funkadelic is trying to engage all your
Exactly.
senses. That's crazy, and you're getting it through somebody who you know is a DJ. You know, like this is his job, is to work with music, right? So like you just expanded out
Right,
to.
right. And he's like, what do you know about this? What do you know about
Oh,
Parliament
did he see that
Funkadelic?
you were
I'm
really
like,
Oh, that's
interested?
great. He was
yeah,
probably
yeah.
excited for
No,
putting you on.
like they've known me since I was a baby. So they've seen me sit down in front of a speaker in my tidy whities looking at album covers.
Yeah.
This is nothing new to them. But the
No.
fact that I took to that particular album at that particular time, it was just one of those moments where it's like, I think I'm starting to get it.
Mhm.
Like you can do whatever you want.
Beautiful,
Do
man.
whatever you
Beautiful.
want.
That's a big
It
turning
is a
point. You know, some
very open to interpretation form of media.
fucking beautiful,
And
man.
I love
That's
that.
like, yeah. That
Yes.
is like the wings are expanding out of your imagination at this point. They are like unfurling. They were there and they were, but this
This
is
is
the thing that's like broken through completely. This is great.
exactly. Like
Fun.
at that young of an age,
Yeah,
I
man.
started to bridge the gap between like Star Trek and those guys.
Yes,
That's
because
cool.
this is now combining everything, all the imagination you would see and stuff that wasn't necessarily associated with music. Like, oh, it can be. That's really cool, man.
So
Um,
then
yes.
I out of the cut, here comes Sly and Family Stone. Out of the
Oh,
cut, here comes Genesis with all the theatrics. Out of the cut,
Wow. Okay.
Flying the Family
the
Stone.
motherfucking Grateful Dead with all of the acid test stuff. Like all of that stuff. Literally, as a kid, I'm like, oh, so that's why they, oh, so that's what, oh,
You start putting it
so
all
that's the
together.
reason
That's
why.
cool.
Yeah, go.
But as a kid, but this is just my imagination, how I'm viewing it,
Yeah.
and it makes total sense.
Wow. So that's fantastic. So what do you start listening to when you get a little bit older? You're just a child right now. So what happens when you start getting into the graded schools, the the primary school and middle school? What do you start going from there from? What do you start listening to now?
But since I was a kid and I'm growing up in the advent of like the origins of hip hop.
Of course. Yeah.
It really draws everything together because that was the first musical form that I fully took to, like, this is of my time
Of
and
course.
it's of my generation. At the exact same time that's going on, it's still a bunch of great R&B being made. It's still a bunch of great funk being made. It's still a bunch of great soul being made. Great pop. To me,
It was.
I don't get caught up on genres.
No.
Genres isn't to help us. Genres isn't to help the artist or to help the listener. It's to help the record store that know how to organize their shelves.
Ooh, that is a hot take.
I love that. That's a really good hot take.
And
I love that.
and I'll prove my point. I'll prove my point. Two things happen. Two things happen. One, when people was going to different house parties and stuff in like the late 70s and the early 80s, they was going to house parties in Chicago.
Yeah.
They would go to these particular clubs to hear these particular DJs play this particular type of music.
Okay.
So a lot of them didn't know what it was. So because of course DJs, they want to hide their labels and they want to,
That's terrible.
I want
That's
you to
the
know what
worst.
the song is, type shit. Like, like they act like Golem in a sense. But the listeners, the people that would go to the clubs and they dance for 7-8 hours, they'll go to the record store and they like, hey, do you have any of that house music? Because of the warehouse, you know,
of course.
The place.
Yes.
So the record store people was like, what the fuck is house music? Them not knowing that they're just playing old forgotten disco records, forgotten danceable soul records.
Where did you grow up?
In DC.
That's right, DC. Okay, gotcha. Go on, keep going.
So like the record stores was like, well, shit, if they want this house music and they're just pretty much looking for soul, that's when the dollar bin stopped popping off. Because it was a bunch of records that were just forgotten about.
Yeah.
And the second thing when people didn't know what genres were was the disco demolition night.
Oh,
it was
yes.
Of course y'all know about
it. Of course I know. I know exactly what you're talking about. Back in like the 1980s.
Right. So
1881.
This is how like weird and how fucked up that shit is. So
of course.
So the guy that used to run an all rock radio station, his radio station changed formats because disco was the next best thing since sliced bread, right? You know, Danny Terrio and John Travolta was cleaning up the fucking the dance floor.
It was hot.
Right, I see her, absolutely.
Yeah, and this radio station guy, this DJ lost his job because they changed formats, and after that he had it out for disco. Like, disco sucks. I mean, the whole disco sucks thing started because a guy lost his fucking job.
Unreal. I completely forgot about that, but yeah.
No, you can.
Yeah, that was real.
And so he gets on the radio station and he's like, "Hey, come to the baseball station and come to the baseball game and bring all your fucking disco records."
They burned them. Yeah.
These fucking lunatics. But they wasn't just bringing disco records. They were bringing other shit. Like, it was people that worked at the ticket stands that saw people bringing in a Marvin Gaye record. You're bringing in, you know, Sly and the Family Stone. You're bringing in like guys like Cameo. You're bringing in those kind of albums.
Word Up. Yeah.
So
Cameo underrated, by the way.
Hell yeah.
Very underrated.
So that
was another guy who
so
really
these
pushed
people
boundaries
just
with the visual
associated
style.
Hell yeah. So like a lot of weirdos just associated like black music in general, to call it what it is, with disco.
Yeah.
And a lot of shit got lumped into it.
Yeah.
And when the fucking sound died, that's when those artists. I'm a tie it back in later on. I'm gonna tie it back in later on. Just remember I'm saying this. Those artists that were technically disco groups, they kept the train moving on and they just changed the genre name. That's when you get, you know, like straight up R&B, danceable R&B. That's when you get stuff like that. That's when you get like boogie. You know, like, and not overseas
danceable
UK
funk
boogie.
and soul music.
Not like the 60s. Yeah, not like the 60s stuff. I love that stuff too. But just because these genre names are like, you can use them interchangeably and whatever, the record stores didn't know that. Which mean all of the DJs didn't know that. They just played good music. Music.
They weren't trying to do the genre.
A lot of shit got tossed out with the bathwater and the baby.
all because of this trying to put things in a genre, and all just because they have to combine things together. People are just getting sucked into it, and they're falling victim. You know what I mean? Falling victim to the music industry politics, right? That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, so limiting when these sort of things happen like that.
It really is.
But a lot of this stuff does get revived. Funk music gets revived again. You know, and like you were talking about hip hop. Well, obviously, early '90s, you get like, you know, G-Funk is now repurposing a lot of the you know, was literally named as like a version of P-Funk, right? Like a Parliament Funkadelic.
Literally,
very good point.
Literally,
good point.
Dr. Dre was me as a kid, sitting in the house, just listening to these records and letting them just take off. He's heard these records 50 million times.
Yeah, and that's why I want to get
other things, his imagination.
that's why I wanted to get this, because I know now we're getting to you being in like middle school and grade school. You're talking about the music you grew up with. You're mentioning hip hop, and that's when I was like, well, you clearly, if Parliament Funkadelic inspired you that much as a child, when you probably were hearing like the Chronic and the tremendous influence that had put on that album. That must have been a big that must have been an aha moment for you too. Like, oh, all this stuff from your youth. You're early. You're also in your youth now, but you're like, oh, look how cyclical music is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, this is what this is. I'm telling you, I'm gonna tie it all back together. This is what makes hip hop as great as it is, because it incorporated everything, not just picking a little bit here or cherry picking a little bit there. Like, nah, the system has taken the instruments out of the kids' hands.
Yes, sir.
Very true.
There was a time where learning an instrument was fucking mandatory.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Mm-hmm.
That's not anymore. Yeah.
It takes a certain amount of privilege to be able to do that too.
But the schools used to
Instruments
provide
ain't
that.
cheap.
Schools used to provide them.
Yes, and we're talking public school.
Yeah,
we're
man.
talking public
school. I used to. I
there
remember
was
in
a
my grade
time
school.
where you can. There was a time when you can go to music class and you can choose your weapon.
It was required when I was growing up.
Oh wow!
When I was in grade school, probably, and you too. I mean, there was a time you had a mandatory music class. That probably doesn't exist anymore, or it's just been getting less and less.
It was retired. It was retired. Like they because cities lost funding, and we're not going to even go down that route.
No, we don't want to do that now. But
once the instruments were taken out of the kids' hands, because with those instruments, you don't have all the plethora of music from the 70s. I want you to seriously consider this. There's a place, there's a state that's the funk capital of the world, and it's in the United States.
Badass.
I'm sure y'all know as soon as I say it. But Ohio, I mean, just Ohio alone, the Ohio players. You got Dayton.
Yeah. Dayton, Ohio. Of course.
You got
wow.
You got Ozzy Brothers. You got Slave. You got Daz Band. You got Roger and Zapp. Just that alone.
From Dayton, I didn't know that.
Just that alone, that amount of music
did not know
coming
that.
from those states
Very
at
cool.
that particular time. It's because the youth and the kids, they had access to instruments, and they had places where they can just play without any distractions. And you have this music coming out. You have all of this soulful stuff coming out from the 60s that birthed the kids from the 70s, that raised the kids of the 80s, which those kids, without instruments, made something totally new from the influence of the people that had the best of instruments. I mean, it's like the best learning from the best to inspire what might be the best in what they do and how they do it.
Well, absolutely. We had, I'm from Philadelphia, and we had obviously in the late 1960s at the Philadelphia
Sound
Soul.
of Philadelphia, come on,
exactly.
Man.
Yeah, exactly. Obviously like people like Bobby Martin and Teddy Pendergrass, all that stuff for sure. And that was happening then too. And then you're right, it just slowly gets sort of drained away once we get into the kids aren't given the instruments anymore. Crazy.
So they have this plethora of records. They have this plethora of records, and with their imagination,
they're like hip-hop. Yeah, the music instruments are gone,
exactly.
But the LPs remain. You know what I mean? In their parents' house.
Exactly. They
secondhand scores, right? You got to work with what you have around you. You have
work
to
with what you got and make the best of it.
Yes, sir.
Shit is
that how you felt when you started hearing hip hop for the first time? Were you like, oh, did you put that together? Like, oh, this is the instruments are slowly getting less and less access, but I see that this is coming up. That must have been a big aha moment for you. Did that feel like a genre for like this is like my genre now? Like you clearly knew what the first time that it felt like to hear music outside your normal
Yes.
experience. Now, does this feel like one that you're like, okay, now this one is like, this is all me. This is all my generation. This
Yes.
is everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I'm watching it grow in real time, and
Right.
and
Yes.
on top of that, because I'm a kid and I'm sitting in front of a TV all day and I'm watching the news, I'm watching movies, I'm watching life outside of my tiny little box house.
What were you watching?
I see. What wasn't I watching? We had two
What did you
TVs
like
when I was a
watching?
kid, and one of them had cable, and my grandmother was a night owl, so
Oh, so
whatever
you watch
was
late night
on.
stuff too.
Yeah, man, I watch all kinds of shit, bro. But which is why, like, I was there when they were saying hip hop was a fad, it's not gonna last.
Wow.
And they was like, look at
Oh yeah,
disco.
for sure. For sure.
And
for sure.
the reason why they were saying that, is because when hip hop was first being like cultured and brought together, the suits, they didn't know how to monetize it. They didn't even believe in it. They thought it was a fad. Like, they didn't even see the innovation just from like 78 or 79 to like 85. They didn't see much coming from it.
Yeah.
They didn't see the innovation. Before Grandmaster Flash made the mixer, in between the turntables, before that didn't exist.
Ooh.
People would actually just turn one record and put on the other record.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have a
crossfader or anything.
It wasn't no crossfader. No,
Wow.
it wasn't none of that. That didn't exist. And Grandmaster Flash went to a record store and went to a music store and was like, I need to find a device that helps me go from one record seamlessly to another. And the guy told him that doesn't exist. And he went home and he made it.
That's badass. I didn't know Grandmaster Flash invented the crossfader.
Furious 5.
Yeah,
I mean, that's that.
Oh my God, dog! This brings me back to another thing. I'm not going to sit up here and say that I'm the end all be all, or I know so much, so yeah, I'm that dude. Nah, but it's certain things within your craft you should just know it. And I'm not talking about how to do something or ways to do something or shortcuts. I'm not talking about none of that kind of stuff. I'm talking about just like at least the origin of what you're in. At the very most, y'all use mixers all day long.
Yeah.
Without a mixer, you're not able to do what you're able to do seamlessly. But just that alone, that tiny concept, gave birth to a whole entire culture. I won't even say something
incredibly similar.
I'll just say culture.
Oh, for sure. I mean, and beyond just, and like with everything, not just hip hop, but DJing in general. You know what I mean? Like the concept of that being what DJing means. You know what I mean? Like the mixing, the concept of mixing, right? Isn't that crazy how things just on top of each other?
No, it's even crazier to know that people went almost a decade DJs. Like all of those disco DJs, all of them played those sets. I'm talking 4, 5, 6 hour sets without no mixer. They were literally hand to needle, bro.
Can you imagine?
They were hand to needle.
And you just have probably notes to yourself about what works.
Yeah.
Because you probably, once the gig is over, you're gonna have to spend all night going through, keeping it fresh, right? Listening to more music, writing notes to yourself so you don't get confused. Like, it's crazy, man. Yeah, that's incredible. Like, we really take so much. So
next time people tell me to mix with the volume faders, I'm just gonna be like, no, Grandmaster Flash, I'm using the crossfader.
I had a
See?
But hold on.
And there's nothing wrong with that. However you cook is how you cook.
No, of course. But it's interesting to know where everything comes from. But I want to keep moving forward here. Now, what do you listen to when you're in high school? Let's go to that now. Okay, that's a big time in someone's life. It's a big time in your life when you become a teenager. You know what I mean? You have this huge groundwork of music, of interest in music. You're putting things together. You're very knowledgeable. You've been connected to it since you were a kid. What happens when you get into high school? What are you listening to there?
High school, I kind of started to venture out. But I wanted to find I wanted to find like the obscure stuff, like
I figured that's
okay,
probably
for example,
yeah,
like for example, like somebody would say, hey bro, if you like Genesis, you should check out the Tubes.
of the Tubes.
I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah. I'm like, I bet. And they like, well, if you like the Tubes, you'll definitely fuck with the Rippingtons.
Oh, Rippington. Oh, like, wow. You are really getting going all over the place with some fusion type music now.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, you know, like this is around the time where like you're kind this is like the baby of the internet. So you're finding places to just look for stuff. And while you're finding places to look for music, we still had message boards.
Yes, I remember message. I used to be on all kinds of message boards back in the day for my local scene, for different scenes.
This
people don't remember message boards. You know what I mean? But that's a tremendous part for underground music culture. Like you remember. Am I frozen? Oh, there
you go. Like people would share music way more than they do now. They shared so much music back then. Like people can have revisionist history all they want. I was there, bro. Like,
yeah, man.
We didn't do a lot of gatekeeping. We didn't do that.
You didn't want to gatekeep because you wanted the stuff you loved to flourish, and it wasn't going to flourish unless.
And you wanted to be able to bond over it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it's like you know, like it might be one night we like, hey, bro, let's just try to find some of the weirdest music we can find. But along the way of trying to find the weird music, you find some dope shit. You find something like that's just genuinely dope. Like one of my friends was like, well, if you like the Ramones, you should check out Gigi Allen. I was like, who's Gigi Allen? Not knowing that I remember Gigi Allen from when he used to go on the talk show circuit. He was basically having to
pretty notorious.
He was basically having to tell people, hey man.
Like that? There's certain like things that you see in your childhood, and you're like, I'm gonna lock that away for later. And then years down the road, you find out, oh, that's what that is. Those are my favorite moments when I find something that is I have like a ghost of a memory of, like a little bit it was strong enough visual or auditory image or auditory scene for me to remember and to lock away. And then when years later, I accidentally stumble upon it again, and then I can expand that story out, you know. So you had a group of friends too who were also into music like you at this point too. You guys were all kind of going around, doing stuff, having nights, looking for really trying to push the boundaries of what you could listen to and what you could experience. That's amazing.
Like just to see what's out there. And then you know, like this is like 2002, 2003. So this is the beginning of what the internet is going to be. This is around the time where
you're putting together blogs now at this point.
Yeah, this is around the time where the kids that was on MySpace, this is when they started making music.
Yep.
All of the bedroom producers.
The real beginning of that,
You know.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, you know, like Twami and Obliv. You know, like
Tops, he got started early.
People like that.
Those
motherfucker DiBiase.
Yeah, man, the SP404 gang. What's up with those stuff? I love Twomley.
Yeah, this is when those guys started. That's how they was able to upload everything to MySpace, because they started making a bunch of music. And then this is around the time when Adult Swim is popping off. So
that's true.
You might not know these bands.
You know, people forget what a big influence Adult Swim was on this stuff, because all the bumpers and stuff, sort of music,
all the Flying Lotus stuff and Ghostly International.
Yeah, what incorporated. It was probably a lot of people's first, experience with Mad Villain and stuff was probably through all
that LA stuff.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. And then you have to think, these guys, they're young. They don't know where it's gonna go. They don't know. Some of them don't even know what they're really doing, but they know they have a sound in their heart and a sound in their head, and they need to get it out. And however you get it out, that's how you get it out. And some people never powered off the system. They never powered it off.
Is it through this, the internet connection and all this, that you eventually came upon vaporwave?
Well, it's twofold.
Yeah.
One, in middle school. I was a screwhead, like DJ Screw. So
Hard.
you know, again,
All right, there we
You were
go.
already a fan of
again,
remix
being
music.
young,
Yeah.
my motherfucking grandma used to make mixtapes. Do you remember
That's so
the little
sick.
My First Sony, the little tape
Of
player?
course. Yeah.
The red one?
The yellow one.
Was it
No,
yellow
I had
or
the
red?
yellow one.
Yeah,
I had a
with the
yellow
little
one.
microphone and everything.
I
When
know what
you
you're talking
held
about.
the play button, you warped the tape.
I do remember that.
Real
I do.
Yeah, so and I would sit and do shit like that all day. So when I heard DJ Screw, it's like, oh, he's somebody else that listened to these songs, but how he did it, you know, he's putting the chops in it. He made his own technique, judging by
Yep.
how he wanted to hear the music.
Yeah.
So when vaporwave came along, around I'd say like 2011, 2012,
Yes.
I was over my younger cousin's house. And they're downstairs. Like I'm upstairs talking to my aunt, and my younger cousin's downstairs. I hear this music, and then they would just start laughing. This went on for probably like an hour. And I'm like, what the fuck are they doing down there?
What's going on down there?
It's a lot of laughing.
Yeah.
Get quiet. Yeah. I'm like, what's going on? So I walk downstairs, and Lisa Frank, bam, just in my face.
No
Really?
way.
And I'm like, what is?
Oh my God! And
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they're like, dog, this is a meme, bro. Like this isn't real music. I'm like, man, play it from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Then it kicks off, and I'm like, nah, it's something here. I can't quite put my finger on it.
That's
Put
what's
my
so
finger
cool.
on it. Like, again, keep in mind, I'm not on social media. I haven't been on social media since MySpace. So
Yeah.
I've
Been like about
That's
been a
rare.
while.
that
Been
whole
like
boat.
7 years or so probably then.
Yeah. I missed that whole boat of it being a meme. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm coming into it
That's
with just
pure.
fresh ears. Like
Yeah.
I've heard like 18 Karat Affair before that. You know, I heard the Skeleton album before that. Now, I heard a couple things before, like Washed Out. Like I'm tiptoeing in.
Okay.
you're
I
around the
don't
area.
know that it's vaporwave. I'm
you don't know
adjacent.
the collection
You'd be like, oh, that's a
involved
nice
in
sample.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when like they like, you like this shit, I'm like, dog, play it again.
Nice.
Play that shit again. And from there, I just lost my fucking mind.
Yeah, because this is like
Exciting.
with vaporwave, you have a combination of all the lessons you've learned from all the other musical genres, and there's enough experimentation here where you can involve yourself. It's a whole new thing.
True.
And for
Well
you too,
said.
especially, it's like, oh, to be at the beginning of these things, keep it happening, and like you've just been so dedicated to music. It's pretty cool. It's very cool when you find something, you're like, oh, I'm at the beginning of another thing. That's amazing. It's an amazing thing.
Bro, I can honestly say, and I stand on this. I stand on this from here to eternity. Vaporwave is probably the next, like probably the most impactful art genre or art movement since hip hop.
Yeah,
Wow.
I agree because there's also a visual style associated with it. There's a community when you have like the music, when the music has not just the music but an artistic and a style associated with it as well. That's both visual and in the auditory realm. Then something becomes bigger.
And when
right?
it's
I agree.
enduring
Really.
and consummate.
Well said.
Yeah. Unlike, say,
Well said.
C-punk.
And it like hearing vaporwave for the first
good point.
time
Good point.
gave me the same
Isaac, very good
feeling
point.
that hip hop gave me.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Man, I'm like, I bet
that was
watching
special.
something. Yeah, I'm watching something grow. It got ridiculed when it first came out. People said it was a fucking fad. Some people even got discouraged and left the scene entirely to never come back again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Mm-hmm. So what?
I'm like, huh?
Oh no, go ahead. No, you go. I'll ask my question in a second. Keep going.
I'm like, nah. It's something here. I just don't think that people fully understand it yet for them to fully appreciate it.
Yeah.
Heard. That's such a badass story.
I want to get into though
Like a badass origin story.
It's a beautiful origin story, but I want to get into how you started getting into the DJ sets and how you decided to start putting this together and getting involved. How did that happen? Like when were you like, let me get myself involved, let me start meeting people, let me involve myself in this culture as well. When did that happen?
Well, to really touch on that is to touch on the origin story of Wave Squad. To be honest about
let's hear it.
Let's hear it then.
Like so, me, Crispy, Dub, and Carte Blanche, like we would always be in this 24-hour Vapor Funk server, like this stream on YouTube. This is around
Very
like
cool.
2017, 2018. Like I'm already a fan of music at this time. I already know like where to go to find certain shit. Like, and this is after the ad apocalypse. So we lost a lot of music on YouTube during this time.
Ad apocalypse. Oh,
yeah,
God,
what is that when
everything's getting struck down, man?
Okay.
A lot of people's channels.
That's when Van lost his YouTube channel too. Van Pack One. Remember,
he had channels. You know,
a bunch of people got copyright stricken. Was that what the apocalypse was?
Yeah, it took down like Van Pack One. That wonderful city pop YouTube. That's when he got it taken down, and then also
everything got monetized overnight.
A lot of music.
Okay.
And then
not even ones that wasn't monetized.
Okay.
Even ones that wasn't monetized.
Oh wow, my bad. Thanks for educating me.
What's the really famous future funk?
Artsy music.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Thanks for catching me up.
I didn't know that's what we called.
So for me, so for me to be able to hear all of those songs that got like erased from the internet and shit like that, I would go to the Vapor Funk stream. And, you know, all four of us, like, we were just being there, chopping it up, you know, cooling out or whatever.
Yeah.
And two things happened. Keep in mind, all four of us were doing our own things independently, not knowing that we're going to be a group. Because I started making videos in 2022. Okay. But at that time, Carte Blanche was making stuff, you know, like way in the cut. Crispy was like doing mixes every now and then and doing like game footage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Dub was low key curating, but he didn't quite know it at the time. But because again, you know, these are the only places we can hear these songs on these streams. And at the very least, just like write the song down and see if you can find it or whatever.
Yeah, at least have a record that at least write it down somewhere so you can try and find it.
So, you know, around like 2017, 2018, like I started being more involved in the streams. Like, again, I'm a fan first.
You know what's very interesting is that, like, you mentioned that, like, that apocalypse and you're just at least writing the names down. You know, we really take for granted that the internet is just always going to be there. We really take for granted that thing that once we saw it online, we're like, okay, well, I don't like back in the day when you're younger, you had to log these things into your memory, you had to try and keep track of it. But now the internet comes along, it kind of makes you lazy, where you're like,
absolutely,
well, you know,
rewires the brain, man.
Search on Google and I can find it, and then one day, you know what I mean? We take for granted the internet is not just this infinite thing that's always there. Yeah. And
Christ talked about that. Remember the death of the internet?
Yeah.
Don't let it happen.
Talks about it a lot.
Like. We started, you know, like just gathering songs here and there. And around like 2021, 2022, that's when I started like to say, hey, I don't like where this is going. I don't like a bunch of people saying, that's not vaporwave. That's not vaporwave. That's not aesthetic. What the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What they actually call this music? You think this is a video? Oh my God, this doesn't fit the vibe. Like, I got tired of hearing that shit. Like, again, I'm a fan. I come from a time where you just accepted it for what it was. Not everything is going to be for everybody.
Yes.
But I don't discredit none of it. I don't discredit none of it. Even if you think it's the worst of the worst, I don't discredit it. It all has its place.
Subjective, yeah.
So
all has its place, exactly.
Yeah, so after a while, I got tired of hearing that bullshit. So I said, what can I do to, like, you know, breathe some life into this?
Yeah.
What can a fan do to breathe some life into it? I get it. Make the shit that's not being made anymore. Like all of those YouTube fan edit videos and shit, like with all the imperfections.
That's
you know
how
what I'm saying? Like that shit had a soul.
That shit was special.
Soul because it
early 2010s, like Luigi Donatello shit.
You know, digging into their nostalgia and putting together.
Yes.
That fell way in the
It was a special time.
mid and late 2000s. The mid late 2000s. Everyone we did it a lot back in the 2010s, early, and it started to go away. That's when I loved. That's when I started. I loved all your visual stuff that you were doing.
Kind of brings it back.
Either your sets or for other people's sets, because people stopped. They just really started. It got
that's what Wave Squad is. That's what Wave Squad is. We're four artists who just want to bring back when shit had a fucking soul.
I like that. I like that slogan.
And not only that, bring new things, bring new ideas. It's not just me. It's not just Wave Squad. There's other artists that's doing their thing, and they're knocking it out the park. They're knocking it out the fucking park, literally putting on for the whole scene. And it's sad. It's sad that a lot of it just goes unnoticed or underappreciated.
Mm-hmm.
That shit fucks with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, buddy.
Because think about it. This shit, I mean, it's 15 years old at this point. And there's at least like 5 or 6 different eras you can point to.
Crazy, right?
And in all of those eras, it's people that done came and went. It's people that done planted their flag and said, hey, I'm not going nowhere. And you got other motherfuckers that literally like bobbed and weaved. They like, hey, I'm gonna stick my jab for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and hit him with this cross. I'm gonna hit him with this check left hook, and I'm gonna get out.
Yeah. Because
I don't like the way that shit was going. Like, could you imagine making an album and putting your heart and soul into it? And it's a great sound. It's a great album. If you're just looking at it for what it is, it's a great album. And people put it on the back of a meme and it gets ridiculed.
Good point.
Yes.
Could you imagine like making something like that and people put it behind a meme, and now your shit is tied to a fucking joke?
That's a good point.
I can imagine that probably discouraged a lot of artists, bro. Especially if they're like anti everything, like they're anti-social.
I can see that.
They're not on the internet like that. And here it is. This is a DIY influence startup fucking genre art movement, and here you got people criticizing the people doing it themselves. That's fucked up.
You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like making fun of a fat person at the gym.
Well said.
You're a goofy if you do something like that. Like who the fuck goes to the gym already stacked and jacked, and you like, yeah, this is me, bro. It's my first
real shit.
No, exactly. It needs to be a place for people to go in and to, clean up their chops. You know what I mean? To get going and to get better without feeling like they're going to be pushed away.
Exactly. Just a place that motherfuckers can just express themselves however they feel they need to express themselves. Because the 70s had it, the 60s had it, the 50s had it to a certain extent.
Yes.
How come this era or the era before just said fuck that? If it ain't perfect or if it ain't flawless, your first song ever, it's not going to be flawless. You don't know what you're doing.
No, and the problem is that when an audience demands that right away, then the artists are not going to be there. They're going to be replaced by plants and stuff like that.
And
by
AI.
people who've been trained by, or AI.
Yeah.
AI or planted there by music labels that know that people demand perfection, and then they'll be like, okay, well here, take this instead, and don't worry about those people who are still working on themselves, and they'll get ignored. You know what I mean?
Fellas, we got time for a few more questions
small clubs to play
and a few more minutes of conversation before we turn it over to the guest chat.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for interrupting. We're having a great time and hate to cut it short.
No, we're not cutting it short. We'll let the audience ask questions in a moment. I just wanted to ask one more question before we get to that.
Let's do that.
Which is that when you are doing these, because I'm a big fan. And this ties into everything you're talking about. I'm a big fan of your DJ sets. You really do bring it back to like a classic vaporwave sound. And what is your process like when you're developing these sets? Because I think that they're probably the best sets.
I too would like to know this.
I think they're the best DJ sets currently around.
Thanks, I appreciate it. Again, to harken back on what we wanted to do with Wave Squad, we love these songs. We love the artists that make them. and we just want to bring back the feeling of just pure vapor, straight up and down. It ain't no cuts,
away from it.
No additives, no preservatives.
No
I mean,
additives.
this is
because everybody in vaporwave feels like they want to move away from it and not play vaporwave, and like you're not doing that. This is like
nah, man, nah. But what we want to do is just have fun with it and highlight all of the artists that make this shit.
Hard.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, great. All right, well, thank you. All right, now we can let the guests ask questions. I'll jump in occasionally.
Right.
I wanted to just push that. I just wanted to just make that really just.
I love that, and I hate to cut it short. We had a petition in the chat to let this man keep talking.
All right,
you're good. We got to give the audience what they want. They voted for him after all. Right out the gate.
Let the audience ask questions. You got it.
Right out the gate with a terrific question. Limerence Music, I'm going to get you for this. What's Solo's go-to meal after a long day of cooking for other people?
Yeah.
Lemmy is a chef as well.
Lemmy's a chef too, yeah.
Probably grilled chicken tacos. I love those.
Very cool. Healthy too. Yeah. Healthier than red meat.
Yeah.
What do you season your chicken with?
Whatever I'm feeling at the time.
Very cool.
I like a lot of Cajun stuff.
Man, I got some Tony Chachere's just yesterday. Zico.
Right there.
It's good stuff, man. Zico would like to know, what is the meaning of the vapor life?
What's the meaning of the vapor life?
What is the meaning of the vapor life, is what he says.
Making whatever you're going to make based on your experiences and drawing out of that.
Perfectly said.
Yep, absolutely. Lost Traveler, solo question. How and when did you first connect with vaporwave?
But you said that, didn't you?
Yeah, you kind of already told that story.
Yeah.
Do you want to share some more stories? You said you had already heard 18 Karat Affair and Skeleton. How did you find them?
Just being on YouTube and like listening to like those different mixes, like triangle music.
Triangle music, okay.
Patrick Films.
Oh yeah, Patrick Lou Damage. Love that guy. I would love to have him on here. Yeah, he's seminal as fuck, dude.
Patrick Ludmage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Love him.
Yeah, just getting like early YouTube vibes. I'm like, this is dope.
Yeah,
but it was all on the chill wave at that.
It was. I remember those days. Yeah, like Mr. Nonsense, Luigi Donatello. Good stuff.
Which is why when I came across vaporwave, it's like, wait a minute. This sonically, this sounds like this, but they're not calling it that. So
I remember before they had a name for it, I called it lo-fi synthwave.
One more time. Who
doesn't get Patrick Lou Damage, guys. Check him out.
He made early skeleton lipstick music videos for me too back in the day.
Did he really?
Oh, that's great. He made some for me back in the day. Shout out Patrick.
That's awesome. Shout out, Pat. I have never seen so many questions. I need you to run and tell that.
All right.
There are so many questions. Okay. Going back a ways. MP3 Neptune, similar to the first question that Lemmy asked, do you have a signature dish?
I have a signature dish?
I'm sorry that I mentioned you were a chef. We're going to get so many food questions.
It's cool. It's cool. I like grilled salmon.
Oh, salmon is
salmon
one of my favorite fish for sure.
Yeah, I love grilled salmon. Grilled salmon, some rice pilaf, a nice salad, some sweet chili sauce.
You got a streak of like healthy eating in you, don't you?
I try to.
I ain't
a freak.
He said, "I ain't a freak."
I mean, yeah, like
somebody
I'm eat. You know what I'm saying? Like
somebody.
I mean,
clip that.
YOLO.
I tried to, but I ain't YOLO Dolo 84. I'm sorry. Nostalgia Lounge. Did you watch Cena versus Rhodes?
Nah, I didn't. I was watching basketball.
Damn. Rest in peace to the Cena
What happened?
fight. I actually did not watch Cena versus Rhodes. I do not know. That was a question courtesy of Nostalgia
What
Lounge.
happened?
I don't know. Like
what happened?
Nostalgia Lounge. Could you put in the chat what happened? People are saying
say,
Cena
say
won.
yay or nay.
Cena won. Apparently, Cena won. Holy shit! There's so many questions.
This might be it then.
All right, you must have missed that. Sammy Boy, do you see / know any other black vaporwave artists in the scene that you would want to shout out?
Shit. Shout out Exotic Nights. Shout out Carte Blanche. Shout out Tefco. Yeah, it's a fair amount, man.
Mm-hmm. You said Obi Live really early on.
People... Yeah. Obi Live. It's some people
Very
in the
seminal.
wings, man. Yeah, it's some people in the wings, bro. Yeah, you out there too.
So much talent. Yeah, Uniwa.
Man,
so much talent.
Yeah, Uni, good dude, man.
Yeah.
Good dude, bro.
Groovy Kaiju.
Yeah, it's some folks out there.
Some good people
Some folks
in
out
this
there
scene,
putting it
man.
on.
Could go on for hours about how much I love certain people in this scene. Great question, Sammy Boy. Archangel would like to know, do you have any advice for up-and-coming artists or creatives?
Yeah. Don't compromise none of your shit. For one, like if the music artist is able to express themselves however they want to, and the listener really can't say anything about it because that's their art, then as a visual artist, I feel that I should be able to express myself however I want.
Yes.
And I say
you
all that
gotta
to say
be
this.
genuine.
Yeah, just make whatever you're gonna make from the heart, make it be as true as possible and be as honest as possible. Because people are gonna know that. They're gonna hear it in your music if you're being honest in that. Like, for example, you got some people, they're ashamed of their influences. What kind of shit is that? How the fuck can you be ashamed of your influences? Like, you act like none of this shit is made in a fucking vacuum.
True.
Somebody is inspired by someone or something from somewhere. Point blank.
Absolutely.
So just make what you're gonna make.
Let's talk about the bouillon.
The bouillon expands out everywhere.
You want to talk about a bouillon cube, man? I could go on for days about the bouillon cube. It's a lot of flavor in a tiny fucking cube, and some people can't take the cube. It could be a little too heavy.
Bit too salty.
That's why they got salt substitutes and stuff. Yeah, it's not even that. Like it might just be a little too much flavor at one time.
Fair. That's the URAP.
Remember
URAP song. That's the bouillon.
Remember we came from the era where we would listen to an album multiple times in multiple different settings in multiple different frames of
Very
mind.
Good point.
Oh man, that's true because
people don't really listen to albums 10 times
anymore. You're gonna listen to in your car or on your Walkman, on your CD man, your whatever for the day. And so you're right. Interesting that you mentioned. I really want to. That was a really interesting point that I want to kind of hammer down for everybody. The idea that we listen to the same album in multiple different times in multiple different settings. Different feelings, as opposed to like I'm in a good mood. Where's my Spotify playlist for the good mood? That's that.
Oh my god! Oh, the playlist. Oh, again, the fucking playlist. The concept of the playlist has literally warped how people listen to music. They don't even listen to albums anymore.
Oh my god, it has now. The Spotify even gives you the playlist like rainy, sunny day, goth day, and like Berlin.
He's not wrong, and I'm a curator of playlists, but he's absolutely not wrong.
I gotta go back to what you just said because that's a really good point that I think people need to understand. Was like the idea of taking this one album, and sometimes people have a happy album, an angry album, and a bad mood album. But this was like you had one album. If you're going on a trip. You had a couple albums you could bring. So whether you were in a bad mood, a good mood, whether it was traffic, whether it was like no traffic, whether you had friends around, whether you were nervous or anxious, whether you're happy, you had these few albums. Yeah, like 3 or 4 albums you could carry with you. And that's what you listened to. So that was a really, really good point about we listen to albums in multiple different settings with multiple different feelings in multiple different situations and experience, and creating multiple different experiences with one album, so you're seeing it from so many different perspectives. Man, that's lost. Holy fuck.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. What
Fuck
a shame. I didn't think about that until you just said it, but what a fucking shame. Like, how can you fall? It's really hard to fall in love with album music anymore if you can't do it like that. That's how you fall in love with people. That's a marriage right there. That's how you fall in love with somebody.
That's the fucking point.
It's such an experience too. It's like watching scenes from movies all jumbled together if you don't listen to the album eventually.
But now people are just like, well, this is my
point. That's the point.
Oh, that's lost.
It has to have context.
Oh no, what a sad thing. It doesn't have to be that way. People just have to.
Well, how about we move on to a little more of a after you finish your thought.
Finish the thought though. But that's I didn't mean to interrupt the flow.
Yeah, me neither. We just have a lot of questions.
The way I got you. The way that people listen to music now, it's almost in a sense it devalues music as a whole. Because if I got every album in my fucking phone, why do I have to appreciate anything? If I have it in my phone,
dude,
full access, whenever I want.
I remember in undergrad in like mid 2000s, I had a friend that had like torrented a fuckload of music, and he was like, "I could give you my external hard drive," and I thought for a second, nah. Because then it would just kind of cheapen the value of everything
record collection.
It would cheapen the value of everything that you gave me, and that makes me sound super pretentious. But really, it was just like, nah.
Listen, man,
I need to ruminate on and let every album stew one at a time.
Yeah, I mean, like, well, that's the whole thing. It's like, was all that great? Well, what's the Spider-Man quote? When you have all that power, the power of having all the music at your fingertips, you have the responsibility to treat it with care, and people just don't. They just treat it very disposably. If you have everything, you gotta, if you love something, if there's a music album you love, you should sit with it in those different scenarios so you could better understand it and yourself. And anyway, we should keep. We got
I love that. That's why I listen to every album twice.
Sorry. I
no,
heard that point.
You're good.
Let's put a pin on it too.
I love that too. Let's move on to a more
Let's move on, because I think you got a
softball.
lot of questions, man. Oh
Neon
my God.
Pines Mall. Yeah, sorry, Solo. God damn it, you're popular. Neon Pines Mall says, "Who is your favorite Mike Tyson's Punch-Out opponent?"
I'll be Mr. Sandman.
I don't think I ever got that far.
Yeah, probably Mr. Sandman.
What's distinctive about Mr. Sandman?
Because he closely reminds me of like a Marvin Hagler type fighter. He reminds me of Marvin Hagler. At least that's what I thought when I was a kid.
Hell yeah. Cassette Loops wants to know.
Nice question.
Yeah, I'm loving it, man. Keep them coming, audience.
I'm watching boxing right now as we speak.
Are you serious? Oh, hard.
Yeah, I'm watching Pro Box TV.
My dude. Cassette Loop says, "What for you is the difference between listening to vaporwave versus the original versions of these nostalgic songs? Do they feel different and hold different forms of nostalgia for you?" Great question, Cassette Loops.
Yeah, really good question, Cassette Loops.
I mean, every living human being that's able to feel, they have a music DNA. You know, there's going to be some things. Everybody does.
Interesting.
You kind of know when you're going to like something. Your first couple of when the sound hits your ears and hits your auditory cortex, you kind of know whether you're going to like something or not. Or there's going to be a moment where you're going to kind of say, let me put this to the side and come back to it. Because I found something that I like about it, but I can't put my finger on it. But the reason why I brought that up is the reason why these songs are so near and dear to me, the reason why vaporwave is so near and dear to me, is because I grew up on all of this stuff. Like I grew up on it. If I didn't hear that artist per se, I heard something close to it. Mm-hmm. So I kind of like it reminds me of just sitting at home with my grandma, and she's listening to these records, or it's me getting up at 3:00 in the morning to go to the bathroom, and I'm hearing this song come from the small radio, Smooth Jazz 105.9, the Quiet Storm and all that stuff.
What a terrific vibe.
These songs, these vaporwave songs to me are extensions of those tracks. Kind of like, there's a mother and father and family under them and family under them. It's like different generations.
And his family of those tracks.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, none of this shit is made in a fucking vacuum. None of it. So I love them the same.
Well said.
Love that.
The family analogy is perfect.
I think so too. Very, very well.
I like that a lot.
Very eloquent.
Yeah, I like that a lot. All right, next question.
Fiji Days. Solo, would you ever produce more of your own music? She also wanted you to know she loved your track Maniac Chic 84.
Women come in all shapes and sizes. That's why jeans by chic are proportionally fit. I mean, if I do lean into that avenue, I would probably make like more signal wave stuff. But that's not what my head is right now. Like I'm visual guy through and through, so I know what my strengths are. You know, and I have to. I mean, there's only 24 hours in a day. Like we work, we eat, sleep, chill, and all that other stuff.
Tell me about it.
I make a lot of time to make the videos, find the sources, and to put ideas and put different things into different perspectives. And I have to choose my hard. The boxer Andre Ward said it. Like he said, choose your hard. If it's gonna be hard for you to wake up the next morning because you was out partying all night, you got to choose whether it's gonna be hard for you to say no to your friends because you got business to take care of, or is it gonna be hard for you to drag your ass out the bed at 3:00 in the morning and hit this road work?
Choose your hard.
So choose your hard.
You heard it on Hot Takes.
Really fucking. You know what? People put too much pressure on themselves to try and do everything but know your strengths is really important. Like I feel this way.
Know your strengths and choose your hard.
I'm not an illustrator. I'm not a graphic designer. I didn't do that.
That's a whole nother topic. Like people put way too much unnecessary pressure on themselves. Yeah. Like, I mean, I think it comes down to like them having like decision paralysis.
Could be. Because they have access to so many things all at one time, it's hard for them to pinpoint this is the direction that I'm going in. I'm not going to deviate from this until I'm done with it, or until I feel that I've accomplished what I've accomplished. Then I move on to something else. Yeah, it's like my videos, for example. I love them all the same. I love all my sets the same. I'm not married to none of them. I love all of them because they all came from the heart. And when I find these songs, or I listen to these songs, or when people send me these sets, I don't listen to the set all the way through and then go through and punch in what I want to punch in. Nah, I build it as I'm listening to it. Do you really? That's so hard.
Really? Oh, really? Yeah. So that's how this kind of gets me back to the question about your vaporwave sets and how you put them together too. Okay, good, interesting.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, which is why, like, because I'm a movie guy, I'm big on like narrative. I'm big on themes. I'm big on subplots. I'm big on callbacks. You know, like how people used to set up jokes. You know, during a comedian set, they'll reference a joke that they made 20 minutes ago, and the people that remember it from back then, of course, they gonna laugh at it. And the other people, they might say, "What's so funny about that?" They missed it, or they forgot that person made that joke. So I try to have a beginning, a middle, and an end, and just take people on a journey that I'm on a journey with you.
It's a good thing you brought that up, because Fiji also wanted to know what your, and I'm sorry to cut you off, buddy, but she also wanted to know what your favorite film was. And since you brought it up, I gotta ask you.
My favorite film?
Oh, good question.
Probably I love Night of the Living Dead.
All right.
Yes.
The 1990 version.
Okay.
The one with Tony Todd and Patricia Tallman. That's a good movie because number one, it paid homage to the original, and number two, it subverted expectations.
Return of the Living Dead.
Subverted
Night of the Living Dead,
expectations.
90? Yeah. 1990. The one, it was directed by Tom Savini.
I know which one you're talking about now. Yes. I know exactly the one you're talking about.
It was directed by Tom Savini.
That's the first movie he ever directed too. He's obviously was known for Spectre.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
choice.
That's one of my favorite movies.
You know what? That one doesn't get talked about either.
Misery. With James Caan and
that's a rough
Kathy
fucking
Bates.
watch.
My mom took me to the movies to go see that.
Oh, really?
That's a wild one.
Yeah.
I didn't know you fucked with horror movies.
Yeah, again, bro, like when you at home and you can't go outside, there's nothing else to do. The TV is by far, like, they call it the idiot box for a reason. But it used to be some good shit that comes on television, man.
Yeah, man.
That's why my videos. That's why my videos look like the way that they do, because I just envision myself sitting at home, sitting on the floor at my grandma's house, and I'm just watching television. So if 9-year-old me would think it's cool, then this shit gotta be dope.
I feel like you and Lux have such a similarity with regards to that.
That's how I feel. It's always a good idea to consult your inner child with any pursuit that you have. Like, consult the inner child in you. Does my inner child want to come out and play when I'm engaging with this art form? Right? I think that's a great advice.
Very well said.
Or you want to start involving yourself in something, when you're looking to what you're going to give your heart to, think about your inner child.
Yeah.
Androm31 would like to know.
Like RoboCop, The Warriors.
RoboCop.
Oh, shit.
These are
so
great
good.
movies, man. Love
Such great
those
choices.
Movies.
Yeah. Do you like Escape from New York?
I love Escape from New York.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Me too.
Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
I feel like that's a pretty good mix of like RoboCop and The Warriors.
He's number one.
Yeah.
It's speaking of Escape from New York. John Carpenter on the fucking score.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Dude, yeah, I didn't even think about that.
You talk about goats. You talk about goat status. These guys used to direct their movies and do the scores.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy, man.
Yeah, pretty badass. I'm a huge fan.
Who else better to put music to their own films than the movie director?
The damn directed themselves,
you know
right?
what it looks like, but you know what this sounds like. You know what this scene sounds like.
You know what this sounds like.
You can't consult anyone better.
Involved.
Which is why I give all salutes and all respect to like the Italian horror movie directors and some of those guys. Like all that old school giallo shit.
Yeah. Oh, like Dario Argento with
like
Goblin
Fulci and shit.
Yeah.
For sure, man.
Yeah. Most of those movie directors, they used to work with like prog rock bands and stuff.
Wow, I didn't know that. That's pretty cool.
Isaac, you've never listened to Goblin, the sound to people who, the soundtrack to Suspiria?
Nah, I'm a Philistine.
You gotta
someday
check that out, man.
Someday.
Oh man.
Holy shit, fellas!
Who's the one guy?
Fellas, we are drowning in
stuff.
questions.
I'm sorry. Let's go.
I am also sorry. I am also sorry. All right, Androm31.
No, we got a lot to go.
Favorite vaporwave song ever? I feel like I know the answer.
Oh my goodness! Oh my God, that's tough. That's tough. I'll probably have if I got an answer right now, I'll probably have to go Silver Richards, Rad Patterns.
Silver Richards is an excellent choice.
Wow, great choice.
And
Lux is cheering from the other
one of those Bouillon Cube dudes.
Mm-hmm.
Another one of those Bouillon Cube dudes. Dude dropped like 2-3 records, dropped the split with Telepath and caught Ghost.
Yeah,
said,
he
I'm
totally went Ghost. He's missed.
All right, next question.
Next question. Cartridge
yes,
Global. What was the first Wave Squad event? Let them know about Late Night Lights and Lux visiting the chat.
Oh, Late Night Lights 2. Okay, so a few months before Late Night Lights 2, we again us four, we're all in the Vapor Funk chat, and we're just cool and chilling, mind our own business. And that stream, a lot of people used to come through that stream like before it went off the rails. Like Corp came through, Human Nightmare came through. Rest in peace to the bro. Like a couple of folks would come through and just slide in and say what's up to people.
Oh, that's hard.
So one day, Lux came in on one of the art accounts. So we get to rapping, we get to talking. Like I didn't notice it until like after the fact, because I remember seeing that particular account on one of the older streams that CCTV used to do, which is another dope visual artist, man.
Oh yeah,
I'm
CCTV,
sure you guys
absolutely.
already know.
Yeah.
I remember when like they used to do random streams on YouTube like in the wee hours of the morning or at night or whatever. I used to catch those from time to time. So us four, like we're all in chat, me, Cart, Dub, and Crispy, and we cooling, and you know like we're talking to Lux and stuff. And when she leaves, I was like, "Hey, bro, do you know who that was?" So Carter's like, "Nah, like, what do you mean? Who you talking about?" I'm like, "Dog, that was Lux." Under one of the, assumed aliases. But that was her, like, straight up and down. And once like, things like that happen, what a coincidence that Dub gets invited to Late Night Lights 2 to do the set for Zero Mara.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Zero Mara is awesome.
And that set by itself, that was the first like URL anything of the Wave Squad camp. Anything that's coming from that camp,
badass.
That was the first one.
I
give a lot of respect to Indy and Utopia District for actually letting Dub do his thing. Like Dub set the plate. Set the plate for us to be able to say, "Hey, bro, we can do what we want. Fuck the noise, fuck the bullshit, fuck the drama, or whatever. As long as we stay the course, as long as we stay locked in together as a group, as long as we stay together, there's nothing that we can't do." And from that moment on, from that moment on, like a few months later, I got asked by Lost Traveler. Shout out to Lost Traveler, man. Love
Hell
you,
yeah,
bro.
Great dude.
Lost Traveler asked me to do a set for him for Enter the Void 2. And it was a crunch time situation. Because at the same time he's asking me to do a set for him, I'm working on the Moon-Based Thanatos from Revenant Cassette Corp. I'm working on that visual album. That's like 15 videos, bro.
That's crazy.
So at the same time,
I remember that.
So at the same time, this is going on. Lost Traveler say, "Hey, bro, I need a set from you, 45 minutes." I'm like, "How much time I got?" He's like, "You got 3 days."
What?
And I handed it to him in 2.
Nice.
God damn. That was nicely done.
So
it's just like you were just saying, you got to pick where you put your heart, because like this is what you do. Visual
your
stuff,
heart.
the DJ set. You're like, man, don't ask me to fucking draw something. All right, I got other things I'm doing.
Right.
Gotta pick what you so many hours in the day. Wow.
Damn, got a great
like
question.
All of those things.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
My bad. No, I'm sorry. Pungent Towel actually had a really good recommendation, though. I would love it if you would recommend that artist one more time. Pungent Towel. He name dropped someone who had been making videos that predated Sunset Corp. It wasn't so much a question, but it was a name drop. Put that in the chat one more time, would you, Pungent Towel? And Luxury Noise has an excellent question. He says, "You've always weighed in with a very universal viewpoint that I often agree with, and you don't seem like someone who hates a lot of music. More like someone who will contextualize it." But he goes, "What is the music you hate?"
Anything that isn't real or that isn't honest with itself.
Doesn't have authenticity. Yeah.
Yep, like music that's made just like a corporate jangle or something.
Yeah, like I won't even say it like that. Like some people, some artists, they're in certain circumstances You know, so they're only able to make what they're being told to make or being paid to make. But when you have a opportunity or a chance to make something for yourself, and you choose to go the other way because of monetary gains, or because the people are going to like it, bro. Like, because of that, you're not letting your artistry be honest with yourself. You're kind of gating your own creativity.
I agree.
Yeah.
And
well
I don't
said.
like when people do that.
Very
So
well said.
if to answer your question, anything that gates its own creativity, I don't like it.
Anything
Yep.
that gates its own creativity,
Anything that gates its own creativity.
Something that self-gates, you're self-gating yourself just to appeal to something that you might not even believe in.
Tying your own hands.
Great answer. Self-gating. No more self-gating, people.
The artist, by the way, that Pungent Towel told you to check out, the video artist is called Flying Frog Films. Sorry. And they had a video from the early 2000s.
Wow.
And
all right.
He mentioned the name of the video. Oh, it's called Bars for You. Something to check out. I guess it's like really. Oh, he posted the link too. But anyways, Videodrome. Question for Solo: blunt, bong, or bowl?
Backwood all day, bro.
What is it?
Backwood, a leaf.
Okay.
Water.
My bad.
Bob.
I wanted to make sure the people heard.
Yeah, I cheat backwoods all day, man.
Yeah, sir. Luxury Elite, on the Maniac sheet note, was that a reference to Maniac Synth?
Yes.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yes.
Well played, sir.
And speaking of, I remember because Maniac Synth used to be nothing but synthwave.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's all. That's all you were getting. But around like 2016, he started to, open up the door to vaporwave a little bit, and he curated a nice playlist around like 400, 500 songs. That was, I'm talking primo. Primo, bro. Like
the kind of playlist that's okay to listen to.
Nah, it was totally left field outside of what he was normally doing. But because one of the artists put strikes on his page, he lost his page. He lost everything.
Fuck that.
And
that makes me mad.
After that, he said, "I'm not posting vaporwave nothing."
Gosh, that's man. One person had to ruin it for everybody. Oh, Lux posted the archive. Nice work. All right, so Make Mistakes would like to know if you have a favorite piece of music gear.
Favorite piece of music gear? Gear? I won't necessarily say gear, but my favorite instrument, it probably has to be the bass.
Bass guitar?
Really? It probably has to be the bass, or like the synthesized snare, or a clap snare. Anything that can produce that. Anything that can produce that sound, like. Yeah. Because I grew up on SOS Band, Dash Band, M2 Slave, and all that stuff. I know what a Jerry curl sounds like. Yeah, and that kind of music, anything with heavy bass, nice bass, like a nice tight snare. I'm talking tight snare with a clap. If you got a double clap, oh my God, you won me over.
Yep.
So any piece of gear that makes that sound, if you can make that sound with whatever you're using, I'll probably love it.
I was embarrassingly late to the game in recognizing that was supposed to simulate a clap sound. I don't know why. I just knew I loved the way it sounded, and someone was like, "Yeah, it's supposed to be a clap." And I felt so stupid.
Yeah, it's a clap. It's a clap because back in the 70s, they literally had to get 50 people in the studio and clap. And use milk crates and all sorts of shit.
Something wild.
And somebody said, "Man, let me clean it up." which was a answer to how music was getting sanitized all through the 70s. You know, like that's why the dirt was there. That's why the dirt was there. But in the 80s, the dirt was still there, but it was cleaned up with the technology.
Good
Dirt's
point.
still there. It's just
still
cleaner,
there in the samples.
It's a cleaner, dirty. Yeah, it's a cleaner, dirty sample.
Sammy Boy, great question. Really killing it with the questions tonight, Sammy Boy. For solo, CDs, vinyl, or cassette?
I'll probably have to say cassette because it was more things released. It was more things released on cassette than CD. CD isn't as durable, and vinyl isn't as affordable as it used to be.
Very cool. Cassette is the working man's form of media.
Yeah, like the closest you can get to a vinyl type sound without the analog shit is a cassette.
Hard.
Yes, I love cassettes. I love that they warp. I love that they degrade over time. I love that you can't pick where you start. You put it on, and it's like you're just dropped in the middle of this landscape. You have to find your way through it. You know, and I love the fact that they probably won't sound the same every time you put it on because something's going to be different. It's not perfect.
It's definitely an experience.
There's something different every time you listen to the cassette. It's just the nature of the magnetic strip. It's the nature of the tape. It's the nature of the gears.
Yeah, it's like VHS tapes. It's the same thing.
It's
you give up some control when listening to a cassette.
You do. You give up the control.
You know it. Yeah, it has a life.
Thank you.
It literally has
like it's literally like it has like a system. It has innards. It has guts inside of it. Do you know what I mean? Like you can like literally, it's like let's see through. It's like a visible human body, like the visible body where you can see how it's moving around. It has guts inside. It has a body. And you will never listen to it the same music twice on it because it's just impossible. It's going to collect dust.
Yeah,
like the sound
very good point.
Different. Or the way that you put it, whatever you put it in, it's going to something's going to be slightly off. You'll never listen to the same song twice in a cassette. Yeah.
Love that.
Much better. I like it better than all the other media, all the other formats. I like vinyl really because of all the, I love vinyl because it sounds beautiful and I love the visual component of it. But I promise you will never get the same experience twice as a cassette. You will with every other medium, with every other format.
Archangel, question for Solo. What is your favorite and or least favorite trend in music at the moment?
I truly don't like people that's just doing what somebody else is doing and doing it the exact same way. Like what works for them will work for me too. That shit doesn't always work. Again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. Like it's someone that's just creatively like gating themselves, and I don't like that everything is just so like overproduced.
Felt.
It's like okay, cool. You could put 1,000 sounds on 1,000 tracks, and you could hit the space bar. Yeah, but I want to feel something. I want to feel something from this. What do you want the music to say other than I can do a bunch of sounds?
Hell
what do you
yeah!
want to say?
It's just gonna be. I mean, a demonstration of skill is great. We love someone to demonstrate being a master at something. But what are you gonna make me feel?
I hate that it feels like when artists get a budget, sometimes something gets lost in there.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a lot of stress too when they got a big budget and like, oh, well, now I have like.
Yeah, that too.
Boy.
But you didn't have to go that direction though. Like you could have said, nah, and still could have made what you made.
Yeah, agreed.
I mean, think about it from this perspective. You got some artists that will drop an album online made with like minimal resources, and it might get a little bit of traction, it might not. It is what it is. But just because someone puts some money behind it don't mean that it has the same amount of like love put into it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, no lies detected. Got some other little quick rippers. Pungent Towel, do you like King Crimson?
Yeah. Yeah, hell
why not,
yeah,
right?
Why not?
Yeah. Next.
Very cool. Puffin Bill Grooves. Favorite.
Dog, like heart sounds, man. I'm all about it.
Yeah, man.
Puffin Bill Grooves would like to know, what is your favorite bouillon cube brand?
I don't have a favorite.
I like the Beyond Bouillon personally. Chef's kiss, you might say.
I don't have a favorite. Just give me the
Sammy
cube, bro.
Boy, another ripper. If you had to make a visual album of a classic Vapor album, what would it be?
Ooh.
Fuck.
To be totally honest, it would probably be Notorious Secret, Pure Lust.
Nice. That's a homie right there.
Yeah. Like if I can be able to like go back and listen to that album for the first time, make some visuals for it, or ways where I was able to be able to make some visuals for it, I think we'll come up with some dope shit. Because believe it or not, like a lot, like most of the times, and for anybody that know me out there, like I'll reach out to you. I don't have to know you. You know, especially if you're available online or whatever, I'll reach out to you. You know, cold message. Hey, bro, I love your music. You know, I saw you on blah 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 event. I fuck with you. Hey, is it cool if we do X, Y, Z? Sometimes I get responses, sometimes I don't. But you know, I at least you know try to let the music artists know like how much they're appreciated. Which leads me to say this. Visual artists, although we're the left hand of the music artists when it comes to this vaporwave shit, we get disregarded a lot, a whole lot. Like I'm talking like last minute disregards. Like, you know, the music folk, like they get like tons and tons of time to get their mixes together. You know, we know about this event 6, 7, 8 months in advance. Mm-hmm. But the visual artists only get a week. Mm-hmm. And some of us also have to do like some of us have to do like double work because the either the musician didn't have an idea in mind for their visual mix, or they didn't think that they would have needed visuals. Mm-hmm. Or the people that's planning these events not thinking, oh shit, I got 20 sets and they all need visuals. We get the short end of the stick when it comes to the visual side of things. And I just want to really, really reiterate. Us as the visual folks, we enjoy what the musicians make on every level. It doesn't matter what genre it is, or what sub-genre it is, or what micro-genre it is. Or even if you're not known at all, I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care about that. But at least have a little bit of consideration for the visual guys and girls that have to go out to try to find all this stuff to tailor fit.
It's a great bringing people's attention.
Idea, yeah. Like we literally have to go out and we make stuff tailor fit for you guys, and we hope that the viewer enjoys it. Let alone the musician, because there's been sets I've done. I haven't even had a word with the musician. I don't know if they liked it or not.
Wow.
I mean, it would be cool to know whether they did or didn't.
Yeah, damn.
But I can't ruminate on that. I can't stay in that mindset and say, Carte Blanche didn't like my stuff because he didn't answer me or something. Like I can't stay there mentally. I gotta keep it pushing. So as a visual artist to other music artists, just have a little consideration for the time that we put in to what we do, you know, because we consider all of you guys and we give y'all all the time in the world to put together y'all sets. Some of y'all sets might even be already made, but us, we got to go out. We got to literally venture on the internet or wherever the case may be when we're sourcing. We got to find it in real time. We got to chop it and edit it and render it in real time. And if you putting glitches on it and stuff, you got to record that and capture it in real time. I'll give you one prime example. We can keep it moving. I was messaged by somebody to do a slush wave set. Okay. I said, "What's my deadline?"
Yeah.
The dude said 4 hours.
Fucking kidding me.
I'm like, what do you?
Come
I'm
on,
like, what?
bruh.
I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, what do you mean? He like, yeah, the person just sent the music in. So I liken that to me getting in the gym with a sparring partner that I'm not sure of his style. I don't know the artist. I don't know the sound.
You didn't
I
get
don't
to pick
know
your
the
hard.
visual direction to go in. All I know is I got the music and I got 4 hours to do it. Yeah, I got 4 hours to do it.
Fucking 4 hours.
I got 4 hours to get this shit done. I got it done, and it's cool. I mean, you can check it out on my page. Like I'll send a link in the server after we're done. But I did what I did in 4 hours.
Jesus Christ!
So, respect to you.
Yeah, man.
So if I could put together
some fucking bragging rights right there.
And if I could put together a set in 2 days,
you shouldn't take that for granted. You should have to do that in 4 hours. You know
while working on a visual album, that means I can literally do whatever I'm able to do. I just need the time. I know I can work in tiny windows of moments, but who wants to work like that all the time?
Nope. Hard nope.
The musicians don't get to work like that. They get months, sometimes like multiple months.
Mm-hmm.
They know about these things before the visual artist does, and we're the other half of it. I don't know if like people just saying fuck the visual artists. I don't know if they don't. Yeah, I don't know if they don't know or they don't just care about what we're doing. But please, like, just don't take none of this shit lightly, because we're not taking the musician lightly, and we just want a little respect for our work. That's all.
Wow.
Facts. Talk to them.
Something that needed to be said.
Yeah, it
That's
did.
True. That was needed to be said. Mm-hmm.
Man, we got time for one more question before we wrap up. So I'm gonna give space. Yeah, it has. I'm gonna give space to another visual artist, Videodrome TV. Much respect to Videodrome TV. You're the last question we're gonna do tonight. He wanted to know, how do you handle writer's block?
I don't force nothing. Whenever I hit a wall, I leave it and I go to something else. But I don't squander that idea.
You put
I make sure I never squander any ideas. Yeah, I make sure I never squander any ideas. Because one thing about ideas, they come when they come. They come when they come. You can't choose how an idea comes to you. Now, if you squander your idea, that means the next one that you do has to be better than the one that you squandered. And you start putting unnecessary pressure on yourself. And you hit the wall again and again and again. So to keep me from doing that, keep my ears fresh, my imagination is all, even when I'm at work, like I'm going through things in my head. I'm hearing music in my head, and I'm like, I'll put this to it. Later on when I get home, I'm fucking around with this. I was just watching this movie the other day. Dog, you know what song go with that? Bet. Let's go. Let's get it.
All right.
So I never have writer's block. Never.
Man, I believe that from the heart.
Just move on, especially
after looking.
You block it away until you get back to it.
Yeah.
You go on to an idea.
Don't squander it.
Nice. Well said.
Man,
well said.
This has been enlightening. This has been
very good stuff.
Enlightening and stimulating. But we have to wrap up. But we always like to give the last 5 minutes to our guest to say whatever you want and shout out anyone you want and put anyone on. Or just have the floor, man.
First of all, like, shout out to all the artists, both music and visual, because we're a part of something that's bigger than us. You know, shout out to the people that stuck with it throughout the years. Shout out to the artists that left and came back.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to the ones that just dropped the album and dipped. Shout out to the ones that actually interact with the community. Shout out with the ones that's not full of themselves and don't think of themselves as the end all be all. Shout out to the people that's honest with their craft and know that it's Of course, it's hard to not compare yourself to other people, but fuck that. You're only you. You can only do what you do, how you do it. Shout out to the people that don't shy away from their inspirations, no matter where the fuck they come from. Shout out to the people that just say, you know what, this ain't my bag. I'm done with it. You open the door for other people. Shout out to the people that actually give artists a chance. Shout out to the labels that give artists a chance to actually have something physical made of them. Whether it's 5 copies, 10 copies, 1,000 copies, or overstock. Shout out to the people that actually come to these shows and interact with everybody as if they're just regular people. Shout out to the young fucking visionaries and the young artists and the young geniuses who didn't know their head from a hole in the ground, but made something that inspired guys like me. Shout out to the people that don't get no attention at all, who think nobody loves them and nobody cares about them. Nah. Wave Squad be watching. We be tapped in. We tapped all the way in. Shout out to the people that actually gave us a chance. That gave Wave Squad a chance. That gave me carte blanche, Doug Prophet, Crispy Doodles. Shout out to every artist that we've done sets for, no matter how tough the circumstances were. Shout out to all the listeners. Not just me, not just you guys, not just the people in the chat, the people overseas, the people that's breaking language boundaries, the people that's actually just tapping in and making whatever the fuck they want to make. Shout out to the people that still supported after the meme wars. Shout out to the people that's actually like, you know what? I think there's something with this and I want to be a part of it. Shout out to everybody that makes whatever they make and they were inspired by somebody, so they can inspire somebody, and hopefully somebody else can inspire the next person. Because all of this shit is connected. At the end of the day, nothing is made in a fucking vacuum. Nothing is made on its own in isolation. You are a part of a bigger fucking piece. You are a part of a bigger picture. Nothing is just, you can come up with 1,000 fucking micro genres. It ain't gonna get away from the fact that this shit is fucking vaporwave through and through. Shout out to the people, the artists that's fans first, that will still go out and look at other people perform, listen to other people's albums. Shout out to motherfuckers just having an imagination. Shout out to those people. Shout out to everybody that literally pulled together all of their resources and try to put on the best shows they can possible. Shout out for people pulling together their resources to get people to fly overseas, to fly here from overseas. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to those artists that make those trips. All of y'all are very important. All of y'all are inspirational to me and Wave Squad. And without you guys, we would just be a group that just makes clip videos.
Shout out.
I love you guys, man.
Solodolo84, everybody.
Oh, fantastic.
That was fucking powerful. Thank you so much for being here with us tonight.
What a great time.
So enlightening.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah,
Shout
man,
out to you.
This is a great time tonight.
You were voted by our community for a reason, so thank you for being here. Everybody, check out Solodolo84's YouTube channel.
Go
Lux,
watch
you are the link queen. Could you or Crispy or somebody link us to Solo's YouTube channel? He's done visuals for me. Did a terrific job. And he is a mainstay at every dance, every vaporwave dance.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
If you're not friends, you need to be.
The one thing Solo said he didn't want to discuss, drama, rumors, slander. That was the only thing he didn't want to talk about.
He did say he didn't want to talk about that.
And
high
no
school
shout out
shit.
to those people who like to spread rumors or slander or hurt people. Fuck that.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah,
we don't have time
that,
for that.
bro.
We're making dreams happen.
We don't have time for that.
Shout out Wave Squad. What do we have coming up in the world of skeleton lipstick?
I think the next thing is the 2-room party, Salvation, May 31st, with the one room, which is 80s and 90s goth music, and the other room, which is the one that I'll be DJing in, which is dark synth and witch house. Big party at Underground Arts in Philadelphia, next month on the 31st. If you're around the area and you've never been to one of my parties, you're missing out. They're amazing.
Yeah. Where's it at?
Underground Arts.
Underground Arts. I'm sorry. Underground Arts, May 31st. Very cool. Anything else?
Yeah,
Salvation.
Nope.
I don't have anything coming up either, man. I got some stuff I can't talk about. Got booked for a couple URL festivals. One of the organizers in chat right now. Shout out to him. and a couple IRL shows that haven't been announced yet. Hope y'all checked out the very, very brief lineup announcement that My Pet Flamingo and Utopia District dropped for Flamingo Fest. Check that out. I'll be there, so come say hello. Maybe I'll have a microphone and a camera. Who knows? Get some interviews in. But it's quiet on the Young Shiro front otherwise. But doesn't mean the big things aren't happening. And speaking of big things, we have our last episode coming up in 2 weeks. We're going to do another retrospective mega episode. And we are going to be interviewed. Me and Skelly. All of our Hot Takes mods have agreed to be the interviewers, and we are the subjects. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be a flip the script type of event. Of course, obviously, everyone there in chat, we will be taking questions. Not sure how we're going to do that, but it'll be fun. It'll be just a 3-hour free-flowing conversation starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, Monday, May 5th. And that's twitch.tv/hottakesvapor. So y'all go check out Solodolo84's work. And be sure to follow us on social media. Obviously, you have our main platforms, and then Skelly and I individually. Check out the Hot Takes Volume 1 comp. Join our Discord server.
Follow
buy
my photography page. Follow my
follow Death Antique.
I should get a whole bunch of stuff coming over that soon, but
it's huge. Buy a B-Fant shirt. Check out our Spotify, our specially curated. I know playlists, right? But you know what? Like, there were some love and some TLC put into these ones. They're worth checking out. And of course, if you feel like you want to donate, that money goes back to your community members. It really does. But either way, we appreciate all you guys being here. We appreciate you, Solo, and what you do. We appreciate all you.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
always. Thanks for being here. Long time fans and new people alike. And we're going to run the ad for Neon Nights tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern. Check out Lux's channel. She's got a Friends and Family episode. More community involvement. People that tune in. Yeah, man, artists and fans that tune in to Neon Nights tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Drop that channel link, Lux, if you don't mind. Otherwise, everybody have an awesome night, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Good night.